Hey guys, what's happening? It's Trevor with Generation High Output. We're back with another video on the Cavalier. Today we're installing a cooling fan bypass switch. Here's a quick rundown of the supplies and tools I'll be using to complete this job. We have 2 spools of wire, 18 gauge, a single pole, single throw switch, a 30 amp automotive relay, wire splices, wire connectors, a 10mm socket, wire strippers or wire cutters, something to crimp the wires with, a screwdriver, and the instructions, which I found on jbody.org. I'll put the link in the description below. Okay. Begin by disconnecting the battery. I took the battery out of the car to allow more room to work. Remove the plastic pop rivet at the front of the underhood fuse box. Using a 10mm socket, remove the bolt at the front of the fuse box. Remove the fuse box from the bracket, being careful not to break the plastic tab at the other end. Remove the fuse box cover. Remove the bottom cover of the fuse box using a flat screwdriver. Be gentle, the tabs are brittle and could easily break off if you're not careful. I ended up removing the airbox assembly to give more room to work. Okay, so following the instructions, we have located the cooling fan relay, and as you flip it over, there are 4 wires going to this relay. We've got a blue, a green, and it's supposed to be 2 red, but that looks to me like a red and then a small brown wire. So we're going to start with the blue wire, and using a piece of our new 18 gauge wire and one of these splice connects, I'm going to connect the blue wire and a section of red wire, and then we're going to use a connector and connect that to pin 87 on the relay, the new relay. Now that we've made our first connection, we're going to do our second one using another splice connect and connect the red wire to pin number 30 on the relay. On this one, the cover wouldn't close all the way, so I just wrapped it with some electrical tape just to be extra safe. So now that we've got the first 2 connections made, we're going to make a third connection from pin 86 to the most recent red wire that we just ran to pin 30. This can be a short wire, only a few inches in length. Okay, so we've got 3 out of the 4 connections on the relay made, and the final one for pin 85 is going to go to the switch, which I'm going to run inside the car, but first I'm just going to rig up a little test to make sure everything works. Okay, we're just going to do a quick and dirty test here as proof of concept to make sure everything works. I've got my switch connected here to the relay, and it is just grounded right here to this point on the transmission. So we'll tighten these cables up. Alright, moment of truth. Got a red light there, that's a good sign. Wow. How great is that? So now what I'm going to do is run the switch inside the cabin and button it up and make everything pretty. So I'm trying to find a good place to mount the switch in the car, and I don't really like the placement of any of these. There's just no good angles in this dash to place it, so I think what I'm going to end up doing is cutting a hole here and then placing it so that it's flush with this. And that means taking the dash out. So as it turns out, this lower piece of the dash does not come off as I thought, and there's no access to the backside, and there's just a giant metal plate on the other side of it. So what I was hoping to do was put some screws in here and then access them from the back. So what I've done is here the edge of the dash sticks out just enough to accommodate the width of the switch. So I've used the Dremel to drill a hole. It took me a couple tries, but I'm going to clean that up the best I can. And then the switch actually fits in here. It's actually pretty snug, but I'm going to put some screws in there anyway. And then I'll be able to run my wires up through the fuse panel, make my connections, and we should be good to go. So what I've done is I've mounted the relay for the fan bypass switch to the front of the radiator support here in the engine bay. I just used a self-tapping sheet metal screw to secure that right here, and then I wrapped all the connections at the bottom with electrical tape just to keep any moisture out. I've run the wires as neatly as I can around behind the battery and underneath the airbox, and then the wire for the switch goes into the cabin through this hole in the firewall. You can see that red wire there is the one that I ran for the switch. So here's what the finished product looks like for the fan switch. I've got it mounted to the dash, and then my connections for the red wire, which runs to the relay, and then the black is just a ground wire. I ran it up underneath the dash. I found just a screw and connected it to that was grounded to a metal point. Your car won't have this wire. This is one that goes to my fog light switch. One thing I forgot to mention is that this mount did not come with the switch. This is an extra one that I had laying around from a previous project, but you can buy a switch that comes with a mounting piece online. And I was able to clean up my drill marks and stuff as best I could. Well guys, that's it for this video. If you found this useful or helpful, please give me a like. And if you're interested in seeing more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching.